In today's video, we're going to talk about data privacy and how it's going to affect digital marketing moving forward. Look, Web 3.0 is not a bunch of hype. It's something that we need to start preparing for today. So stick around because this is one of those videos you're not going to want to miss. Doesn't everybody say that? That everybody says this is a video you're not going to want to miss? Hey broadcasters, Brian Curie here from KillerB. And what I want to talk about today is we're all hearing a lot about Web 3.0, and some of us are even asking, well, what is that? Well, there are some huge changes coming down the pipeline of digital, and when it comes to digital marketing, to your websites, to email marketing, and we're not going to cover all that today. But if you're interested in learning more, make sure you click that subscribe button because we're going to cover more things about Web 3.0 and email marketing and data privacy in the future. So I'm going through a webinar about Web 3.0 preparation. It's with a gentleman, his name is Ryan Levesque. He's with a company called Ask Method, and Trey Sheneman, he used to be a leading marketing executive at the Ramsey Solutions team, and he's run other marketing companies. He knows a lot about marketing, way more than even me. So look them up. I'll put their names in the descriptions. I'm probably butchering how you say it, but that's me. That's what you get. But the spelling will be correct in the description, so go do some research on them. But in today's video, I want to pass on some things that I felt was important to share with you to help explain why this is not just a hype. This is something that we need to take serious and start preparing for today so we're ready tomorrow. So you might be wondering, well, what is Web 3.0? So there's really not a solid definition for what Web 3.0 is. But one thing that we do know is that data privacy plays a huge role in Web 3.0. Now, I'm going to read you a definition from the Ask Method. I thought this was a really good definition of Web 3.0 that I've seen so far. He says that Web 3.0 is a new era of decentralization, taking some of the power away from corporations and returning it to users, to you. Privacy and trust will become more important than ever. People don't want Google and Facebook tracking them around the internet anymore. We could probably relate with that. And they're demanding ways to take back their privacy and their data. It says that the post-cookie world is creating a new opportunity for business owners to collect own first-party and zero-party data and create a relationship of trust with their customers at the same time. Now, in this video, I'm not going to go into all the details about third-party, first-party, or zero-party data, but we will cover that in a future episode. So if you're interested in that, make sure you click subscribe. Trey says this, and this is a note that I took. Trey said that trust is the new currency in Web 3.0, and I cannot agree with that more. I totally agree with that. I mean, how many of you have ever wondered who's actually listening to your conversations right now? So real quick, I want to take a little vote on this. Click the like button if you've ever wondered who is listening to your conversations. So for myself, like I've sat around a table and had a conversation with my friends about products or things that I'm looking at, and then the next day I get on Facebook and I start scrolling and there's all these ads about something that I haven't even searched. And I'm sure you can relate to that. Let me know if you have in the comments. Can you relate to that? And let me know, what have you talked about and then seen in your news feed the next day? And I still know people today that won't get an Alexa because they just don't trust that someone isn't going to be listening to their conversations throughout the entire day. Which I get it. But I think we should start really asking, like, well, who isn't listening? I mean, we've been carrying these things around with us for I don't know how long, and there's a mic built into it. So I've always wondered if they can listen to us on all these different devices, how long have they been listening to us on these? Now, I'm not trying to start some big conspiracy here, but I want you to understand that this is a fear that is real that people are dealing with. People don't trust big tech companies. They're not trusting the government. They're not trusting medical. There's a lot of distrust happening right now. And here's what's interesting. Apple was listening. Now, I don't know if they were listening directly on here, but they were listening to what people were saying and how they didn't have trust. And that's why they made a huge decision to turn privacy into their new business advantage. Now think about that for a minute. They turned privacy into their business advantage. If you remember, I think it was the iOS 14.5 version that was coming out, that they were allowing people to take back control and decide who could track their data. It was big news when it came to digital marketing because you had Facebook and all these other platforms that were tracking users' data. They were scraping that data from what they were doing on their cell phones. And obviously, iPhone is a huge cell phone provider. Now, I want to be honest with you. I didn't really believe that many people were going to opt out and say, "Don't track my data." I thought it was a fear that people were really blowing up really big, and it wasn't going to be that big of an impact. And I wasn't the only one. But Trey shared this information that I thought was crucial, and I wanted to pass this on to anyone else that might be thinking, Web 3.0, data privacy, it's really not that big of a deal. I totally get it. I thought the same thing. Here's what he said. So they estimated that when Apple made this decision to make it where when you downloaded their new version of their operating system, that it would give you an option to opt out of people tracking you, like Facebook and them, these third-party sources. And they were estimating about 10 to 20% of users would say they would actually opt out. That's what their estimates were. And I was right there in that same area. I didn't think that many people were going to opt out. But here's the actual number for how many people opt out. It was 88%. Now just imagine how many iPhone users there are out there. That isn't a number we can ignore, because what that means less data for marketing, which we've already seen marketing dollars going up. They reported that they've seen an increase of 300%, up to 300% on a click-through cost. So they went from $2 to $3 per click on an ad to $12 to $15 they're reporting. So these are huge things to keep in mind. Plus, remember, these are leased properties that you're building on. So we can't trust these leased digital properties to scrape and give us that information for retargeting people that are interested in what we do. We can't trust that anymore. So that's where this shift is starting to happen. So what does that mean for you? What does that mean for us? I think right now what you need to start doing is start preparing, coming up with a plan on how to capture data from your visitors on your digital assets. What I want you to walk away with today is just starting to get your mind turning around that idea of creating a plan to capture your user data so you can create your own user profiles for retargeting and building a more deeper relationship with your audience. Now, I want to encourage you to see this as an opportunity, this Web 3.0 and the changes in the data privacy. Look at this as a new opportunity to build a closer relationship with your audience on digital. Don't look at it as a disruption. This is an opportunity that you can take advantage of today. And those that take advantage of it sooner will be in a better place later. Give yourself and your team members permission to experiment. Do something new. Try new things and how you can capture data. Ask deeper questions to your audience depending on what they're searching on your website or what they're looking at. Start thinking in that direction. Like, first, ask yourself, what data do we need to capture? When do we need to capture it? And what are we going to do with that data? We've been coaching our clients now for 2 years on the importance behind serving and building relationships on your own digital assets to build community and relationship. Now, here's the thing though. Remember, I want to specify, relationship does not happen overnight. Relationships require trust, and that takes time. It doesn't happen overnight, and you have to be real intentional about being present with your followers. You might be asking yourself, well, how do I start building trust on these digital platforms? Like, what direction do I go? Let me recommend a book for you to go check out. This is a book by Seth Godin, and it's called Tribes. It's a really good book, and he talks about the difference between a tribe versus a group of fans or followers. There's a difference there. So go check out that book. I'll put a link in the description for you. Before you go, click that like button if you enjoyed this topic and you want to hear more about this. And don't forget to hit subscribe and smash that bell so you get notifications on new videos that we release about Web 3.0, digital buzz, and some of our vlog series all about our story at KillerB Marketing. Now, if you like this video, check this one out.